Hey, welcome ladies and gentlemen, it's your host Shane Gilfin and you've joined us for round 12 of the British Touring Cars here at Limerock, based at Lakeville, Connecticut, USA. It's a sub 1 minute lap, so these guys have been fighting hard to stay on the track, and all year long the track's actually been quite tight, so the racing is going to get quite tight and tough on this one. So I'm glad to be have my trusty commentator with me, Jack MacKenzie. How are you going, buddy?
I'm doing very well, thanks, and I'm very excited to go racing at Limerock Park. I've been looking through a little bit of the touring car history here at Limerock Park, and pretty much the majority of the touring car action that happens at this track these days is the touring car class in the Michelin Pilot Challenge series, and the last race there in that particular class was won by JDC Miller running an Audi TCR LMS machine. And obviously, I've also found some touring car action at this track dating back to 1996 in the North American Touring Car Championship. Obviously, those races would generally be running the version of the track with the chicanes. However, this time we're running without the chicanes, and I'm expecting the dynamic of the race to be very different to what we've come to expect for races here at Limerock Park. I'm expecting a pack race, and I'm expecting it to be very, very interesting.
Well, it's going to be very interesting, and like you said, the lack of chicanes means this track is going to be super fast. No real heavy braking zones. It's just get on the train and hold on as hard as you can. One little mistake and you'll be off the back. So we'll see who can actually stay on, who can race together. We've got a few guys that have really posting some hot times. The low 52s, so the track must be rubbering up. As we can see, Harrison Tebb on track now going through the bend, really smoking up those tyres, and close behind him, only 9 100ths or 1000ths behind is David Baker, who's been working really hard today he really wants a waste win. He's super hungry.
Yeah, extremely close at the top of the standings here in qualifying at the moment. David Baker most certainly keeping Harrison Tebb honest. Obviously, these two, well, they would have seen plenty of action throughout the season. In fact, pretty much every single driver has seen action with every single other driver on the field, if that particular point makes sense. But currently, it's 0.098 separating the top two, with Matt Collins just over half a second behind in third place in the Gardex Racing with Motorbase Ford Focus, followed by Scott Flack in fourth position at the moment. And Harrison Tebb's just gone even quicker. That's put David Baker just over 2/10 behind him. That's a 52-1, so a fairly blistering time for the Mercedes at the top of the field at the moment.
Yes, we're looking at Scott Flack at the moment, trying to get further up the field. He's had less practice than the boys in front, so true to his form, he needs a few more laps before we'll see him up, and I'm sure through the race he'll have the experience to just hold it steady and be there at the end of the race, and that's where it all counts here at Limerock. We've got Gabriel Nunes doing a really good job up in the top 5 at the moment, just over a second behind the leaders. So he's racing in the GNR car, sponsored by TCR, Triple Crown Racing. And you're heavily involved with that, Jack?
Indeed I am, yes. So I happen to have a sticker on the side of that car, although I'm not entirely sure where it is on this particular Mercedes, but I know it has featured on the Ford Mustang that Gabriel races in the Supercars Championship, which, if all goes to plan, I will be racing that car at Bathurst at the end of the year alongside Mr. Nunes. And obviously, Gabriel Nunes Racing team, that is a team on the up. The team claimed their first victory at Lakeside the other week. Gabriel wasn't driving the car, but that will probably put him in high spirits for this week. Gabriel himself is a driver on the up, and, well, 5th position in qualifying so far, and it looks like he will most likely hold on to that. So he's done really well. He's put himself in great stead for the racing this evening, and I really can't wait to see how he does, as Gabriel is actually spoke too soon. He's had a massive spin, but I think he has done enough, unless Jiraj Benak, excuse me, has an answer for him. But I believe Nunez will deliver the goods on this occasion.
Yes, so I believe Uri Benak came in rather late, so considering him still getting used to the circuit, hopefully he's done a few laps prior in private testing. He's let us know that he's just fixed his brake pedal, which has had a long running issue with that car, and it looks like he's in the Subaru. That's a risky move on this track, very taily as he's heading the wrong way, but that's okay. The qualify session is finished. We've just got to wait for them to come round and cross the line. We've also got Phil Chaleglio in the picking it up for the Holden Astra or Opel Astra, and Troy Cieslawski back from being a flag marshal at Bathurst, a very wet Bathurst this year. He's made it back home in Queensland nice and dry, so he's joining us again from Queensland. So we thank him for making the effort to come on in. Right, we'll go to a commercial break quickly and we'll return with race 1. Okay, welcome back. Yes, we've still got Collins putting a lot of pressure on the back of Teb. Left one, we saw him come out tighter on that last corner onto the main straight, getting a higher speed. He's trying to show the inside to Harrison Teb, but Teb's too experienced for that. We've got him on driver cam here as well, so we'll be able to see how he handles it with Matt Collins in front.
Don't have commentary audio on the stream by the sounds of it.
So we're back. Sorry, we've lap 2 of 12, and we've got Matt Collins on the back of Harrison Teb, putting pressure on David Baker quite comfortably in P3, and Flack just dropping off a little bit now. The field's starting to spread out.
Yeah, we had a couple of casualties at the start of the race. Unfortunately, Matt Pritchard is out of the race already, and Uri Benak had a spin coming out of West Bend. Gabriel Nunez nearly joined them, but he managed to keep the car on the straight and narrow and is running in a very strong 5th position. Touchwood, he continues to hold on to that, but it seems that the fight at the front of the field, well, Harrison Tebb is actually beginning to pull out a little bit of a gap to Collins behind. He stretched that advantage to 0.8 of a second. And the field is fanning out a little bit. It's actually turning into a sort of less of a pack race than I thought, as David Baker has a huge moment, but manages to hang on to that forward focus, so that should begin to open up the gap, so open up the opportunities for Scott Flack as they go through West Bend. As I saw some dust being kicked up in the background as well, but it looks like everybody is still on the straight and narrow so far, and our leaders are going through turn 1 as we speak. Closest battle on track seems to be David Baker and Scott Flack, as Scott Flack runs a little bit wide. That might have been strategic, maybe looking for an alternate line, but not effective in this circumstance. Another battle that's developing is Nunez versus Charleglio, who's caught up to the back of him. But up over the rise now, a couple of cars would have gotten air at the moment, and Baker still having to defend from Scott Flack. Let's see what Scott Flack's run through West Bend is like. David Baker's having to go defensive. He was on an unideal line. These two are line astern at the moment. Flack will almost certainly try a move going into turn 1 on this occasion. Is he close enough? I'm not entirely sure he is, but he's most certainly keeping Baker honest. Baker is having to try some defensive lines to keep Flack behind him. And I reckon this will be the battle most certainly to watch for as the race progresses. Scott Flack trying the high line again. I'm not sure it's really working. Oh, actually, yeah. So he tries the high line and then tries to get a better run going through the right-hander, which almost worked there. But he ran off the road, which sort of killed his momentum a little bit. But that battle is still most certainly tight. There's a few battles going on at the moment, obviously, as there so often are, as Charleglio, very, very committed going up the hill there. I think he might have actually hit the wall on the outside there. But Nunez still holding 5th position, although under a little bit of pressure as we go down through West Bend. Charleglio will be looking for the run there. Plenty of battles to talk about, Shane.
Yeah, we've got, as we saw with Flack and Baker, there's 2 different lines they're taking. Scott really taking the wider line to get the better exit, but Baker's throwing it in early, and he's actually keeping it out early as well. So we may see Scott Flack just taking that same line and learning from Baker, who's in front, because he's actually closing in now back again to within half a second as we're watching Charleglio chase down Gabriel Nunez, and this battle for P5 is hotting up. Oh, Gabriel really flirting with the wall there, coming up over the back straight, back hill. But Charleglio is really keeping his rhythm tight here.
Meanwhile, battle for 3rd place is hotting up. Scott Flack's got a brilliant run out of the final corner, and he's pulled alongside David Baker. They're side by side going into turn 1. It looks like Flack has the advantage, just superior straight line speed, and that's Baker off the road. Oh, the man who'd been running in 3rd place for so long is in danger of losing 4th. Gabriel Nunez, and that's our new soundbite coming over Shane's new toy, which he'll most certainly enjoy. Unfortunately, Phil Charleglio has made the same mistake, which has given Gabriel Nunez some breathing room.
And now it's given Eli something to chase down as he sees the back of Charleglio rejoining P7, Newman in P8, and we've got Uri Benak and Matthew Pritchard. Looks like he's in the pit already, so having more troubles with his sim at the moment. But back up the front, Teb's just streaking away ahead of Collins for almost 4.5 seconds, with Flack behind and Baker losing out over 5 seconds to Flack, unfortunately, as he slots back into P4.
Now, on his last lap, Harrison Tebb was well over a second faster than Matt Collins, and that's probably why he's been able to pull out such an advantage. In fact, he's way faster than the rest of the field at the moment, so it's really no surprise that Tebb's pulling out such a huge advantage. So as it runs, Teb at the front of the field, Matt Collins running in second, Scott Flack running in third, David Baker's still in fourth, and Gabriel Nunes is running a very strong fifth position. I hope that all goes well for him. That's why I'm touching wood. Troy Cieslawski's moved his way up into sixth position, and Phil Charleglu has actually dropped a spot, having basically copied David Baker and running off the road. Oh, and Charleglu is actually really starting to close in on Cieslawski. Cieslawski has to go defensive as we are on the run towards West Bend. Charleglu has not been this close to Cieslawski as this battle has developed. So he's as close as he's ever been, and this is his best opportunity to try and take the sixth position that he lost back away from Cieslawski. The Ford Focus driver having to move to the inside to actually cover off threat on of Charleglu trying to overtake him. So he's definitely probably looking more in his mirrors than he is ahead at the moment. That'll be most certainly a battle that materializes towards the end of this race. We're on lap 9 of 12 at the moment, and there's been plenty of action that has kicked off so far. If we look at our other battles through the field, who else is running very close together? Scott Flack has closed in quite a bit on Matt Collins. This is as close as this battle's pretty much been since the start of the race. Flack goes to the inside. Can he send it down the inside? How defensive will Collins be? Can he actually hold it round the outside? It looks like he's still holding it, still holding it, still holding it. Flack finds the inside. Collins on the grass a little bit. Scott Flack with a brilliant overtake takes that position away. He's up into second position, but probably too far away from Harrison Tebb, unless he makes a mistake to take that position from, well, take that first place away from him.
Yes, it looks like Matt Collins used up all his front rubber to hold up, try and keep up with Harrison Tebb, but yes, he's just fallen in the clutches of Scott Flack, and like I said earlier in the broadcast, Flack will be definitely waiting to see what works and what doesn't here at Limerock. So over the next couple of laps, hopefully we'll see him up with Harrison Tebb in the latter races to make this interesting, as the boys are sort of falling off that train we mentioned before. Scott Flack almost touching that grass there. Really important to keep the car on the grey stuff the whole way around. It is such a tight circuit, and these cars do lose front end grip because you see how much turn in they use, and all the power goes to the front. So Matt Collins just dropping off there. Baker's still in P4, and Nunes further behind. Doing a great job, very consistent on this one, touch wood. And I'll take your advice, Jack, and touch wood every time I mention something, because we know that we've been given commentators curse throughout the whole season.
Yes, case in point last week. If you don't remember what happened in the final race of the night, I thoroughly recommend watching that, because that was quite a finish to that particular race. But yeah, Harrison Tebb, I think he took advantage of the fact that Collins was really having to look backwards towards Scott Flack in terms of his position defense rather than chasing after Tebb, and coupled that with absolutely blistering pace. I think that is what Tebb's real strength in this race has been, and that's really what's given him the edge, as it so often does in motor racing. He's got a few more corners to navigate. He's just on the run towards West Bend now, which is the second last corner, as he's just well, yeah, he pretty much enters that corner as we speak. One corner to go. It's going to be Harrison Tebb in the Waltech Motorsports Mercedes with the Precision sponsorship. It comes across the line to win at Limerock Park. It's Harrison Tebb taking the first race of the night. Scott Flack brings it home in second. Brilliant drive from him as well. Matt Collins brings it home in third. David Baker unfortunately made a costly mistake that probably cost him the podium. Actually, he's going to come home in fourth position. But Gabriel Nunes, he's done what he needed to do. He's going to bring that car home for a very strong fifth position, with Troy Cieslawski bringing that Ford Focus home in sixth place. Eli Newman is just going to hold off Phil Charleglu. He brings it home seventh. The latter driver comes home in eighth. And Uri Benak, he's still circulating. I'm not sure if... he would have crossed the line, so that would be the end of that. He'll be in ninth, and Matthew Pritchard unfortunately retiring early on, and that is the field for the first race of the night. Harrison Tebb, an absolutely superb drive.
So there's the official results. Harrison Tebb, P1, dominating race 1 at the moment. Really wasn't touched other than a bit of a chase from Matt Collins at the start. Scott Flack climbing his way through the field from 5th to 4th to 3rd and eventually 2nd, taking Matt Collins, who finishes in P3. David Baker, quite consistent, unfortunately just clipped the grass there and lost too much time and drops into 4th place. Gabriel Nunes, one of his better results. Congratulations to him for Gabriel Nunes Racing. He finishes 5th in the Mercedes A45. George Slowski also doing a solid job to finish 6th. Eli Newman getting the better of Phil Charleglio after he also hit the grass the same time Baker did. And Eli will finish in P7 for Leadfoot Racing. And Phil Charleglio slots in P9. Uri Benak finishes in P9 in the lone Subaru. And then we've got Matt Pritchard, who left the race early due to some issues there. So we'll
I should note, Harrison Tebb was trying to do some reverse donuts because of the front-wheel drive car on the front straight. What a way to celebrate your first win of the night.
Well, hopefully that's one of many for him. But Baker's been wanting to chase him down all season. So let's see if he bounces back for race 2. A few commercial breaks and we'll be back with you.
Tell them about Entertainment Park.
Well, this place, it's like, it's...
My favourite place in the world!
The thing about this place is that...
It's fun for all ages, no matter what your age. You'll love it.
What I really want to say about Entertainment Park is,
They have the best go-karts plus a great cafe. Games, bowling, simulation, but the go-karts, oh my God, they are so much fun.
look, thing is that this place is...
Perfect for my birthday party. Everyone said it was the best birthday party ever. Yeah!
What I really want to say about this place is...
Just say it!
It's a fully hectic, oh my God, venue.
Finally! Entertainmentpark.com.au. And as Tahi says, it's hectic.
And oh my God.
2 for this evening. We are getting ready to grid up for our second event of the evening. Matthew Pritchard, it was a dominant drive for him in the first race, but the grid's all mixed up. We'll see how this one plays out. It's going to be very exciting indeed. The engines are already revving. We're getting ready to go here. We're just waiting on the lights. And race number 2 will be underway. We've got 6 seconds on the clock till race start. And then we'll be rolling off. Here we go.
Reverse
Lights
grid.
coming on. And we're racing here at Limerock Park. Uri Benak is starting in second place, but Phil Charleglio's gotten a brilliant start. And once again, they're fanning out just as they did in race 1. But Uri Benak, he takes second place away from, actually him and Charleglio are side by side. There was a little bit of contact there, but everybody has so far kept it on the road. Nunez is once again in the mix, trying to move his way up the field as well. It's hotly contested for the podium at the moment, but once again, this is benefiting Matthew Pritchard, who's again driving away from the field. It's already a half-second advantage as Matt Collins is trying it up the hill against Charleglio. There's contact, but somehow they're still in a straight line.
Yeah, it's bunched up at the top of the hill. Look at that, almost 3 wide every corner. That's just not done here at Limerock. As Kozlowski's going wide in the wall, he's managed to hold it, but he's really...
There's so many crashes. There was a few going through West Bend. Uri Benak's on his side. Gabriel Nunez has spun off the road. Oh, well, there you go. There's soundbite again. Plenty of cars in the fence. I didn't even catch wind of who everybody was there. But Harrison Tebb's actually dropped out. Well, yeah, he's actually taken a place away from Matt Collins. It's slightly difficult to follow with all these Guard X4 focuses. But there's a titanic battle for the lead going on at the moment.
Tebb up the inside, taking the lead down the back straight, coming up back bend. If only we had the chicane there to tighten up even more, but the two Guard X focuses.
Oh, Matthew Pritchard exits stage right. He got pitched sideways, and he is virtually out of contention for the time being.
We've got Newman up in P5 at the moment, Leadfoot Racing, doing well. Baker just in front of him. He's gone from the back to P4 in almost 1 lap, so he's done well as Kozlowski, Charleglio, Benak and Nunez struggling to get back on the track after that first lap incident. Up the front, Tebb's still holding it out. Collins determined to look after those tyres and be there at the end of the race this time. Black resumes P3 at the moment, and I thought I just saw Pritchard in the back getting the Jim's Mulling Award, cutting the grass a bit too much. And I think it's another one bites the dust for good old Matt Pritchard. We go back up.
Matt Pritchard was so far out, he was practically in the botany beyond the circuit. So
the grip's not that great out there. As soon as you get off there, it's all downhill. It's all banked, but as soon as you roll off the top of that bend, down turn 1, it's almost game over. As we saw race 1 with David Baker losing 5-6 seconds, just trying to get back on the track there. But Pritchard back on for P7, and this is Gabriel Nunez in P6. Smashing it down the main straight there, crossing it in P6. Won't be his fastest lap of the race, but that is a 54.7. The leader's doing a 52.3 at the moment. Tebb just posting a fastest lap of the race.
yeah, we've not got too many cars within 10 seconds of the lead. I think that opening was just so insane that well, I think a lot of people have fallen into strife, which is basically left us with 4 protagonists at the front of the field at the moment. Tebb's kind of controlling it at the moment, but there is a battle developing for second place as Flack is in the slipstream of Collins ahead of him, so he'll be slowly beginning to close that gap. That's sort of the when Matt Collins is very sideways. He dips a wheel in the grass, and it's Flack up into second place. That was just a small mistake from Matt Collins with fairly large consequences, but thankfully he didn't end up in the grass. He's actually managed to keep it for the most part on the asphalt. Going further into the grass would have been an absolute disaster for him, but he's managed to keep it on the road. He's still in contention with Scott Flack, but I think honestly Flack will probably be looking more ahead than behind him at the moment, because he'll be able to just see Harrison Tebb off in the distance in that Waltech Mercedes. He'll see him on the start-finish straight just here, and he'll want that win. Scott Flack will most certainly want that win. They all want that win, but he's most certainly in with a shout.
Touchwood, Tebbs remaining out front, 2.5 seconds from the leaders, Flack and Collins. Baker closing
Baker's
in on
off the road. Baker's off the road. He just ran wide again.
Curse again.
It was a carbon copy of the incident that lost him. Pretty much cost him a podium in the first race. He went wide early on and ran off the road, and he's unfortunately done the same again in the second race of the evening, and that's dropped him 6 seconds off the lead there, unfortunately. So that leaves us pretty much with Tebb, Black, who's 2 seconds behind, and then Matt Collins, who's another 2 seconds behind him. So those are our podium runners at the moment. But yeah, field very, very spread out. It was almost turning into the pack race that I prophesized at the top of the broadcast, but that was then followed by a major accident heading through West Bend, which has really spread out the entire field, and several cars ran into problems, and that's put a lot of people out of contention, which is rather unfortunate. I think Matt Pritchard has unfortunately retired again. He's 2 laps off the lead, and it is reading a big old DNF next to his name at the moment in red letters. That's very unfortunate for him. But
yes,
they're dropping like flies.
Second for the night, unfortunately, so we hope he stays for race 3 and sorts out the issues he may be having at home. As we see Scott Flack stretching that lead. Is he catching Tebb? He's keeping Tebb honest, because that gap's still staying at 2.7 seconds. Baker still in P4 as well, pretty lonely out there. And we just profiled Eli Newman for Left Foot Racing, who's actually got, and I'll show you in the driver cam, he's got matching hairstyle to go with that beautiful livery for Left Foot Racing in the Ford Focus. Racing with us here at Racecentre Entertainment Park at Bankstown as he takes turn 1 on lap 8.
Yeah, I was just having a look at Flack's lap times. Unfortunately, he's not actually catching Harrison Tebb at the moment. He's been a few tenths slower than him over the last few laps, and that's starting to show in the timings a little bit. That gap's opened up to 3 seconds, so I think he's probably... actually, he's maintaining the gap to Matt Collins behind him, but he isn't gaining on Tebb, and he's actually losing time to Harrison Tebb at the moment. So probably the closest battle actually is between Newman and Nunez, which is going to be for 5th and 6th position. I think Nunez would love to... Oh no, Gabriel Nunez runs off the road and hits the wall, but the car's still going, and soundbite.
Well, another one hits the dust there, and he's trying to do what he can to catch Newman. There's only 1.7, but that's blown out to 2.7 now, as we see Nunez just taking in turn 1. Double apex, it's turn 1 and 2, and really hard to master. You really want to throw as much speed as you can into turn 1, but it's always going to bite you if you do not match the speed to that corner. And the longer this race goes on, the worse it gets, because the guys are losing front end grip, so they won't be able to rescue themselves if they find themselves braking too late and taking too much speed into that turn. Nunez just dropping off a little bit there, or holding firm over that last lap. So both of these guys really driving. Now they're...
Newman's made a mistake. Newman's run off the road coming out of the final corner. This will give Nunez the opportunity that he's been looking for, and that gap should close up a little bit more, so we will most certainly have something to talk about going into this final section, or this final portion of the race. We've got Vorta Racing in chat at the moment saying, "Oh my God," in OM and G with an exclamation mark on the end. That's his exact comment. And yes, indeed, OMG. We're going to have a battle for 5th place, raging right to the finish. Nunez is closing in on Newman at quite a healthy rate at the moment, and this will be the talking point. We're on lap 11 of 12. Harrison Tebb has just started that one. He's just exited turn 1. But this will be the battle. This will be the battle for 5th place that sees us through to the end. Newman versus Nunez. Ford versus Mercedes. Blue versus green. Who's going to come out on top? Newman already going a little bit defensive, putting that car slightly in the middle of the road to try and break the toe to Nunez behind him. How defensive will Newman go? Not as defensive as expected at this stage. He knows that Nunez is there. He's just got to stay cool, keep the car on the straight and narrow, and he might be able to, well, hopefully for him, he'll be able to hold on to 5th position. But Nunez, he's lurking there in the background. If we have a look at his lap times, well, I mean, Nunez was quite a bit faster than Newman on that lap. And he's keeping him honest, is old Nunez. Tebb, he started the final lap. He's just got probably about 2/3 of a lap to go, and he will take another victory for Walltech tonight. But, oh, and Baker's run off the road in turn 1. But as we say that, the battle is very, very close between Newman and Nunez. Nunez looking to the outside. Can he try a move going into turn 1? They're side by side. Is Nunez trying to bait Newman into a mistake?
There he goes.
Oh, he was, but that is curtains. Gabriel Nunez running off the road, and that is virtually any chance of him taking 5th position. It slipped away for him, but Harrison Tebb has done everything he's needed to do, and that's a 2nd win of the evening for him, and that's another 2nd place for Scott Flack, and I believe that is another 3rd place for Matt Collins. You'd think we'd just run the same race again, but the story is very, very different. David Baker is going to bring the Racecentre Ford Focus home in 4th position. But Eli Newman, this was the battle that was looking to be holding up in the final stages of the race. There's still the opportunity for a position change if Newman makes a mistake, but he's going to hold on to it. Eli Newman, he did what he needed to do. He's going to bring that car home in 5th position with Nunez home in 6th. Troy Cieslawski will bring it home in 7th position, and Juraj Benak in the other Nunez car coming home in 8th. Tarleglio comes in 9th, and it's Pritchard, unfortunately, was our first and only retirement for this race.
So those two really are finishing close behind each other, and that, as you saw, the tail of the field definitely squeezed in to be on the main straight all at the same time. So good job from the guys to show us what they can do, and they're definitely getting more confident in the cars. We go to the final results for the race. Again, it's Harrison Tebb taking it away in P1. Scott Flack right behind him. Matt Collins, David Baker 4. That's a screenshot of race 1. Eli Newman moving up into the top 5 this time at the cost of Gabriel Nunez, and he'll be wanting to be very keen to get that position back for the next race, race 3 of 5 tonight. Troy Cieslawski following the 2 behind. Juraj Benak doing better in the Ford Focus. The A45 for Circle. Phil Cialego, he was up there at the start. Just a couple of mistakes saw him fall back into P9, and Matt Pritchard again finishing in P10. All right, once again, we'll go to a commercial break. Be right back right after these messages for race 3.
Entertainment Park has so much to it.
And we are proud to announce that we have joined forces with this incredible place. They've got simulation cars.
You can choose your own car like a Formula One.
Or V8 supercars, and you can choose your own track. I love the mountain. I'm king of the mountain. Not Mount Jewett, Mount Panorama.
Plus, there's an incredible go-kart track. No fumes, no smell.
And it's got a booster button too.
These booster buttons, unlike a video game, they're real. I'll catch you. Beat your fastest lap. Challenge your friends.
Have a feed at the cafe with an unbelievable menu. What? dessert, coffee, and of course, a fully licensed bar.
10-pin bowling, video games, skills testers, laughs, play area, chill out areas and lounges, DJs and fun music.
It's safe, friendly, and plenty of parking. But some people drive to the city for that.
That's stupid.
Book now at entertainmentpark.com.au. Not just for kids.
A practically perfect evening for Harrison Tebb tonight. It's 2 from 2 wins for Waltech Motorsport, but it might be a little bit of a different affair for the third race of the evening out of 5, as Tebb is going from the back of the field. It's Charles Eglio starting at the front alongside Troy Chislowski and Uri Benak in third position, with Gabriel Nunez lining up in fourth. This is going to be a good one. A lot of drivers out of position. It's an exact reverse grid, effectively. The lights are coming, or the revs are rising. The lights are soon to come on. I can hear them going off in the background, and we're getting ready to go for race number 3 of the evening. We've got a couple of different tyre compounds, I've just noticed, and that might be making a difference. A few drivers getting excellent starts. Gabriel Nunez with an absolutely perfect start. He's already gotten his way up to past Charles Eglio and is leading the race. Gabriel Nunez up front, but under pressure from Matt Collins, who sends it down the inside, but it's a temporarily failed attempt. Oh, and there's chaos in the background. Harrison Tebb with such a perfect evening so far is off the road, but the battle rages on for first. Matt Collins is looking to the inside of Nunez. He tries to stick it to the inside. Nunez unfortunately runs wide, but keeps it on the road, and he's still running in second place, but the battles are kicking off behind him. We've got 2 rows of 2 behind. It's David Baker versus Charles Eglio for third. Baker up in the third position, and now Charles Eglio under pressure from Chislowski, who also goes through as well. They're 2 wide through West Bend, and this is the drafting pack. This is the pack. Oh no! It's Phil Charles Eglio, a big crash on the front stretch.
Yeah, I think he come together with it. Looks like Uri Benak, and down the main straight, and unfortunately he just went off almost in the pit entry there on lap 2, as he's trying to get back into the rhythm and chase these guys down, as he's got Harrison Tebb for company down the back in P8. But back up the front is Matt Collins ahead of Nunez now. He's starting to stretch away. This will be very good for him in the points for the round if Harrison Tebb doesn't pick up a few more spots. Scott Flack also suffering in that incident as he's chasing down Cieslawski, trying to go up the inside. He'll go deep. It's two side by side. Oh, hits that inside curb. That's the one that's been launching the cars cartwheeling over the final turn of the lap, but they managed to keep it together. And Cieslawski holding firm, getting the shoulders out for P4. Great job from him. Baker up into P3, trying to stretch away. And Gabriel Nunez in P2 at the moment. As long as these guys keep fighting amongst each other, these guys out front are going to stretch that lead. But the battle here is Troy Cieslawski at the front there, holding off Scott Flack, Uri Benak, Harrison Tebb, and Eli Newman in the background there, coming through in P8. So Tebb up into P7 already, lap 3 of 12.
That was nearly an aeroplane crash between Cieslawski and Scott Flack, but somehow they both managed to keep it on the road. But it looks like Scott Flack's not done. He's right on the attack, trying to get by Cieslawski in front of him. He's now in the draft behind him. That's probably the closest battle on track. But yeah, this is the pack race that we predicted. Flack's going outside, looking for a pass, going into turn 1. But there's also the battle. Let's not forget raging for second place. Gabriel Nunez just holding off Baker behind him. Cieslawski also doing an equally good job to try and defend from Flack, but this is of course costing that particular battle pack time as well, as Uri Benak and Harrison Tebb were side by side there for a moment in time. Tebb on the recovery drive and doing quite a good job of it so far. But there's a battle developing for second place. Baker's having an attempt on Gabriel Nunez. He goes to the inside. Can Nunez hold it around the outside? He does. Going into the final corner, Nunez temporarily safe for a little bit longer. Baker's not giving up the ghost though. He was having a proper look to the inside, but couldn't make it happen on that occasion. Meanwhile, they're 2 wide, almost 3 wide for the 4th, 5th and 6th place battle as well. And it looks like Cieslawski's about to lose 2 spots in the span of 1 straight as Harrison Tebb and Scott Flack both go by as well. But this squabbling for second is actually bringing the midfield battle pack right into the fray. This is going to be an absolutely exhilarating
again in the grass. Cieslawski just pushed the shoulder out, and Tebb just visited the grass for a little bit, dropping a spot there. Almost 2 to Uri, but Tebb settles back in. Tebb's been flirting with that, the skirting and the side of the track there. As I said before, as soon as you clip that grass, it's game over for now. But Tebb staying on the black stuff to stay in P6, just behind Troy Cieslawski and ahead of Uri Benak. Matt Collins stretching that lead out. Oh.
Baker made the move on Nunez, which Nunez ended up on the grass temporarily, and this has brought Scott Flack straight into this battle pack. Unfortunately, Nunez, for him, dropping down to 4th position, but Scott Flack is now challenging for second place. This is just what we said. This battle pack is now being brought into the fray of the podium battle. Oh, it's Nunez. They almost crashed. Like, that was nearly a very
Baker's
good...
gone. Baker's gone.
My goodness me, the whole pack together.
Nunez trying back up
through about 7th is all pretty much together. Flack leading the battle pack at the moment, but Nunez is right there with him. He's back in the podium positions. A second place is not out of the cards for Nunez, but Scott Flack's doing well to pull away from this pack behind him. Meanwhile, Baker under pressure from Harrison Tebb, who's still on that recovery drive, and there is a massive drafting pack going on down the front straight here. Baker's having a look to the outside of Nunez, but Tebb's going down the inside as well. And these guys, this is the type of racing that we expect from Racecentre touring car racing. It cannot be closer for this battle for 3rd position. They are line astern as it runs, and it's pretty much line astern all the way down to Uri Benak in 7th position. But Harrison Tebb, he's right in the fight as well. He's looking to get both Baker and Nunez as we're going up towards the run up the hill at the moment. Don Baker now chasing down Nunez as they go over the rise. Oh, Tebb off the road as well. Can he hang on to it? Yes, he does. He slots back into 4th position. Nunez holding on to 3rd. Tebb looking to the inside as we go through West Bend. He's down the inside. Baker wants it too, but it's not going to happen on this occasion. Nunez almost runs off the road. The whole pack's together. It's looking like a race at Talladega at the moment. Harrison Tebb currently leads the pack, but they're 2, at least maybe even 3 wide going into turn 1. Baker's, they're all together. I can barely keep up with all this.
How are they actually doing this? I can't believe it. 3 wide into turn 1 and they still all on the black stuff. Baker relegated back to P7 there. This is a fantastic battle. We've only waited 3 races to get it, but here it is. You guys at home are watching this. I hope you're enjoying it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And this racing all year long has been providing, and this race 3 does not disappoint. Teb's starting to stretch out now. Czeslowski in the mix as well, just ahead of Uri. But it's going to be Baker and Nunez.
Oh no! That's a big one between Nunez and Baker. Nunez ran off the road, hit the wall, and then was fired across the track into the path of David Baker, and that's taken them both out of this particular battle. The battle pack that we were getting so excited about has been thinned down a little bit further. So as it runs, Collins in the lead, Flack in second, Tebb in third place, and the battle right now, the closest one on track that I can see at the moment, is between Czeslowski and Uri Benak. Benak made a very bold attempt going in the final couple of corners just a lap ago, and he looks like he's looking for his next opportunity. He's putting his car on the line, putting 2 wheels on the grass. He does the switchback. It's a brilliant run up the hill. Can Uri Benak take the place away? Yes, he does. But Czeslowski wants it back. It's not going to happen on this occasion, but that was bold. It was brave from Uri Benak, and he made it stick. It might be over for one Gabriel Nunez car, but the second one's made its way up into 4th position, and now eyes front towards Harrison Tebb in the Waltech Mercedes. That's who he's chasing down. Can he catch him? We'll have to find out. He's got 2 laps to do it. But so far, Matt Collins, yes, out the front. It's an 8-second advantage. He'll be loving all these battles behind him, because that has allowed him to extend his gap at the front. But Harrison Tebb, he's got the fastest lap of the race at the moment, and he's actually done really, really well to drive up to 3rd position. As Benak makes a small mistake, that might open up the door for Czeslowski. He dipped a couple of wheels off the road there for a second, and that allowed Czeslowski to close the gap ever so slightly. But that's how it runs at the moment. And and yes, there's another mistake, and that's exactly what Troy Czeslowski wanted. Benak off the road again. That's the corner where Nunez ran off the road before. And now here's the slipstream. How close can Czeslowski get? Is he close enough to make a move into turn 1? Can he send it? Is he going to try it? It looks like he is. He's keeping Benak honest. He has to go defensive. And that might be exactly what Czeslowski wanted, because Benak would have had to have compromised his line ever so slightly there. But doing well to hold on to 4th position, keeping that Gabriel Nunez Mercedes just a little bit in front of Czeslowski. A bit of a wiggle for the man in the red Ford Focus, but he keeps it on the road.
Baker's doing all he can to chase the back of these 2. He's taken 0.7 of a second out of the 2 in front, so not too sure if there's enough laps in the race as Collins crosses the line for the final lap of the race. But watch this space very closely. Baker chasing down hard for the 2 in front. If they trip over each other, Baker will be there to collect another 4th place for round 12 of the British Touring Car Championship. So we watch Tebb.
Collins is about a third, or just over, yeah, probably about a third of a lap to navigate. He's on the run up the hill at the moment. He's got just a few more corners to navigate. It would be more had we had the chicanes, but we do not for this particular race event. He's got 1 corner to navigate. It's not Harrison Tebb this time, but Matt Collins is going to make it 3 from 3 for the Mercedes A45 here at Limerock Park. Matt Collins crosses the line. He takes the win. Scott Flack is going to come home for another podium position, and Harrison Tebb from the back of the field, the reverse grid, brings it home in 3rd position. Uri Benak, after a bold move on Troy Czeslowski, brings it home in 4th, and Czeslowski across the line in 5th. David Baker brings it home in 6th. Gabriel Nunez was running such a strong race, but unfortunately ended up in an instance as he and both Charleglio run off at the final corner, but they're going to cross the line 7th and 8th respectively, while Eli Newman will bring his Ford Focus for Leadfoot Racing home in 9th position, and that is race number 3 of 5 here at Limerock Park. And I'm out of breath.
Well, we've got the final results now. Matt Collins taking race 3 of round 12. As I can hear in the background, Baker and Nunez definitely getting into it as to trying to find out what went on in that race back there, because Baker definitely lost a few spots there. But continuing on, Scott Flack, Harrison Tebb in the P3. Uri Benak picking up a very good result for him in race 4. Definitely enjoying this switch from the Subaru to the A45 as Troy Kozlowski again up in the top 5. Baker with that clash with Nunez finishes in P6. Just ahead of Gabriel Nunez. Phil Chilaglio finishes in P8, and Eli Newman had a late mistake, dropping back into P9. All right, so that is race 3. 2 to go, Jack. It's only going to get hotter from here.
That was one of the most exciting races I've seen in this championship so far. That battle from about 2nd down to 7th was utterly enthralling. I can't wait for the final 2 races of the evening. I can't believe we've got 2 to go. Will my voice box last? That's the real question. Find out after this commercial break.
There is nothing like the mountain, the speed, the history, and most importantly, the sound. It's part of the Bathurst 1000, and now it's part of your whiskey too. Aged to perfection with the sweet sounds of a roaring V8 pumping through each oak barrel. Like a perfect lap of the mountain, each sip will leave you wanting more. For the 2nd year, Ned Australian Whiskey brings you the 2022 limited edition Sounds of Bathurst Whiskey. And this year, Ned have taken it up a gear. The boldest drink for the greatest race in Australia.
Number 4. After a very, very chaotic 3rd race of the evening, we are about to go racing once again. Eli Newman will be starting on pole position for this one, with Phil Charleglio in 2nd. Gabriel Nunez has a 2nd this evening to make a podium place happen. But he's got David Baker behind him, and of course, 2 other drivers in front of him. Troy Cieslawski's in 5th place with Uri Benak in 6th position. Those were the two rivals towards the end of the race last time. Harrison through the field again. Scott Flack's there as well. And Matt Collins at the back of the field after winning last race. The lights are about to come on. We're about to get this one underway. And we are racing here at Limerock Park for the 4th time this evening. Let's see who gets the best start. Nunez has got another blinder and is already challenging Newman going into turn 1. Can he make something happen this time? He's looking to the outside. Oh, he gets hip checked by Newman. And is there chaos? There is a little bit. They're all packed in like sardines, but it looks like Troy Cieslawski's the only casualty so far. Newman holds on to the lead. Nunez in 2nd. Oh, and there's a battle kicking off between Charleglio and Harrison Tebb already. Somehow, Matt Collins and Tebb are already halfway up the field after starting at the back, so that's already very impressive from those two. Up the hill we go. Let's see who manages to hang on. Collins and Tebb are side by side as they come up the hill, and somehow they've all survived. Collins is on the inside. Can he take the place away from Tebb? It looks like he might just be... Oh, and Nunez up the road! Oh, that's such a shame. This car's going everywhere, but somehow they've all survived it. Tough break once again for Gabriel Nunez. I'm assuming he must have just run off the road. But the battle's raging at the front, where 2 by 2 on the front. Harrison Tebb wants to make it. Oh my goodness me, it's 4 wide. Matt Collins is trying to move to the inside. He makes up 2 positions at once. Can he make the lead? Yes, he can. What an utterly amazing move from Matt Collins. He's gone from 4th to 1st position in 1 corner. And Shane, I am out of breath. Take it from here.
Well, we've got a few exploits going on inside here, and there's positions changing all the time as we see Charleglio holding it firm into P3, which is a great thing to see. Eli Newman getting the sideways coming up the hill there, trying to keep it on board, but Baker wants to get that position as Eli just drops a spot, drops momentum there. Charleglio still out in P3. Baker close behind. Uri, oh, look at that cluster right behind him. Coming on main straight, and that's Cieslawski, and that looks like Scott Flack too. That's 2 definitely off. Yeah, another one off for the final corner. So we go back up front. Matt Collins and Harrison Tebb is off as well. I'm not too sure what happened there, but looks like Tebb's hit the grass and he's dropping back down to P6 at the moment. Getting back on the track quite quickly, which is a good job. But Baker, Charleglio battling out for a P3. As we said, these races now are giving us all the entertainment we need. And we've got a 4-way battle here. This is for P2. Collins stretching out the lead just over 2 seconds now. And we've got a four-way battle. And soon Eli Newman's trying to get on the back of this group as well. For Leadfoot Racing, and as it gets up the inside, definitely getting momentum on the back of these guys. Uri coming down the main straight is 4-way, and that's Harrison Tebb doing all he can. We'll probably see him post the fastest lap of the race so far. Definitely got the fastest sector, but fastest lap goes to Matt Collins out in front with a 53.1.
This is exactly how it's played in quite a few of the races tonight. It seems that the battle kicks off from P2 downwards as the leader streaks off into the lead. And of course, that is once again Matt Collins. It was Harrison Tebb the first 2 races of the night, and it looks like it's going to be Collins doing it again. But the racing has been utterly insane in this. Oh, and Charleglio, that's a big mistake from him, and that's going to open up the door for David Baker. He ran right off the road and into the wall. Somehow he's still hanging on to 2nd position, but Baker, he's right there with him. They're not going to make it 3 wide in the final corner. Surely not. No,
he's gone off. That move was never on, to be honest. And Baker again falling victim and hit. There goes Charleglio sliding off as well.
Charleglio just looked like he crashed in a straight line there. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. I guess the car must have been unset a little bit there.
Sounds like he got a help down the main straight. I'm not too sure if it was Uri bouncing back on the track there right in front of Charleglio in P2. But unfortunately, he's dropped a couple of spots. Tebb back up into P2. I don't know how he does it, but thanks to everyone else falling off, he's back up into the front, pointy end of the race so far. Baker now just getting Eli Newman.
I think Harrison Tebb can almost certainly close that gap to Matt Collins. He's shown he's had the pace all night, and I think if he can deploy some of that pace again, he'll be able to close the gap on Matt Collins. I'm going to have a look at the live timing here. Yeah, it looks like Harrison Tebb is lapping a little bit faster than Matt Collins. It's maybe doable. If Tebb's able to put his foot down, he might be able to close that gap, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Closest battle on the track at the moment is probably Baker versus Charleglio, actually followed closely. Oh, actually, I spoke too soon. Oh, Nunes and Eli Newman are together. These two have been racing all night with each other, but unfortunately Newman's kind of first there. Nunes has dropped another 2 positions. He was moving quite slowly there for some reason after that crash. He took a little while to get running again, but that's how it's all playing out at the moment.
Scott Flack is absolutely flying. In 2 corners, he's gone from 9th up into 6th. So, and he's got the fastest lap of the race with a 52.2. Amazing job from Scott Flack moving up the field. He's got Cialeglio right in front of him now, and that's what he'll be chasing down in his windscreen. Harrison Tebb up into P2, 4 seconds behind now. Watch that time as it should come down, but if I see the splits, he's just taken 0.3 of a second off Collins in the lead.
Yeah, it's spreading out a little bit at the front of the field at the moment. I want to have a look at the live timing again. Harrison Tebb, he's probably about 0.3 of a second quicker than Matt Collins. But I'm not very good at maths, I should mention this, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough if he wants to catch Collins by the end of this one. And running off onto the grass, just as he did a little bit there, that's not really going to help his case. So far, it looks like Baker, he's trying to chase down Uri Benak in front of him. And we'll have to monitor those times as well. But the field is actually quite remarkably spread out at the moment. There's probably at least 2 or 3 seconds between most of the field at the moment. But Matt Collins still leading strong out front. He's looking to take his 2nd race of the evening. And he's done very, very well to sort of open up a gap to the cars behind him. That's kind of how the racing's played out tonight. As Harrison Tebb, in the wall or very close to the wall.
He definitely brought up the dust there as he come up over the rise, but just enough. That fence is quite helpful to bounce you and force you back onto the track. As long as you hit it at the right angle and don't overshoot that uphill bend too much, you should be able to just bounce back in. Keep the loud pedal down and hope for the best. As we see Tebb just coming through turns 1 and 2, got that front end working nicely for him. He dips it down into 3rd gear, taking that sharp left. Really want to stay tight here for the next right-hander, which is almost a switchback. You can see, just clipping the grass on the exit there. And that's Uri Benak getting up close to him too. Only 2.5 seconds back. Baker is hitting every curb, and really, I can hear him from the commentary box. As he clips the wall too, and sends one of the witches' hats flying across the track. He's actually closing in now, Uri Benak. So keep an eye on this. It's lap 9, only 3 laps to go. Scott Flack up into P5.
I think, to be honest with you, I think Tebb is relying on Collins making a mistake at this point because, 1, before he wasn't actually lapping fast enough to be able to catch him, and 2, he's made a few mistakes on his last couple of laps as well. That gap's actually grown to about 5 seconds from where it was sitting at around 4. So he'll be looking possibly more towards Uri Benak behind him. That's probably the closest gap. As Benak runs over the grass quite substantially there. And I think that may be a retirement. That's Phil Cialeglio in the pit lane, unless that's a stop and go. Oh, and there's a battle for 7th as Eli Newman is trying to make a pass on Troy Chislowski. It's the battle of the red versus blue Ford Focus, or Ford Foci, depending on how you want to go about plurals. But Chislowski holding on to that position at the moment. This is the closest battle on track. So if there's not a battle happening at the front, there will be one happening in the midfield.
We've got one for P3, and it's Baker moving up on Benak in the Ford Focus versus Mercedes A45. Lap 11, Baker moving up another spot into P3. He's probably best result if he holds this for the round. as Benak's coming back up at him on the inside, he'll get the better run on the inside for the uphill right-hander. And Benak gets that position back, so it's a ding-dong battle. Giglio actually had a drive-through and mistaken it for a stop and go. So he's still got to serve that penalty once again, unfortunately, as he slips down into 9th place. And will probably receive the blue flags anytime soon now, as these two will battle it out. We're on the last lap of the race. Matt Collins dominated this one out front. Harrison Tebb helped off into the grass and had to make his way all the way back up the front. And Uri and Baker will be hopefully not tripping over the lap car in front. Oh, Baker's trying to...
Over. Baker was having a big look to the inside of Uri Benak here. This is going to be the fight that sees us through to the end. But how will lap traffic play into this? Uri Benak is going to have to get by that car in front as quickly as he can, or just hope he doesn't catch it. Baker's right with him. I think this is going to be a drag race right to the line. Matt Collins is going to win this one. Harrison Tebb's going to come home in 2nd place. But Benak, he has to hold off David Baker behind him. How close is Baker? Is this one going to go to the line? I think Benak's done enough to bring it home in 3rd position for Gabriel Nunes Racing. Another podium for that team. Scott Flack brings it home in 5th place. Nunes will eventually bring him in 6th. Kozlowski will probably also eventually bring it home in 7th. Eli Newman will eventually bring it home in 8th. And Charles Aglio pretty much out of this one, unfortunately. He'll be 9th without question. But Matt Collins, a 2nd race win of the night. It's 4 wins for Mercedes-Benz for the evening so far. An impressive drive from both Matt Collins and Harrison Tebb. Tebb did very well to try and close that gap, but unfortunately it wasn't quite enough on this occasion. But another amazing race. I cannot go over this. I love Racecentre BTCC. My voice box probably doesn't, but I most certainly do.
Well, we just saw Czeslowski and Newman finishing off the race there, so we'll go straight to the results. And it's Matt Collins dominating out front. Congratulations to him, taking out race 4 as well as 3. And behind him, Harrison Tebb. This will mix up the results for sure for the round, which we'll calculate at the end of the round tonight. Baker picking up his usual position of P4, just behind Uri Benak, who credibly took home race 3, position 3. He could have easily just settled back in behind Baker, but he fought back to claim the 3rd step of the podium. Scott Flack did all he could, but 5th was the best he was going to do tonight, ahead of Gabriel Nunes, Troy Czeslowski, Eli Newman, and Phil Chiglio. Unfortunately, getting a couple of penalties throughout that race there. So that's completes race 4, and we have 1 race to go, so stay tuned.
nothing like the mountain. The speed, the history, and most importantly, the sound. It's part of the Bathurst 1000. And now it's part of your whiskey too. Aged to perfection with the sweet sounds of a roaring V8 pumping through each oak barrel. Like a perfect lap of the mountain, each sip will leave you wanting more. For the second year, Ned Australian Whiskey brings you the 2022 limited edition Sounds of Bathurst Whiskey. And this year, Ned have taken it up a gear. The boldest drink for the greatest race in Australia.
Entertainment Park has so much to it.
And we are proud to announce that we have joined forces with this incredible place. They've got simulation cars.
You can choose your own car like a Formula One.
Or V8 supercars, and you can choose your own track. I love the mountain. I'm king of the mountain. Not Mount Jewett, Mount Panorama.
Plus, there's an incredible go-kart track. No fumes, no smell.
And it's got a booster button too.
These booster buttons, unlike a video game, they're real. I'll catch you. Beat your fastest lap. Challenge your friends.
Have a feed at the cafe with an unbelievable menu. What? Dessert, coffee, and of course, a fully licensed bar.
10-pin bowling, video games, skills testers, laughs, play area, chill out areas and lounges, DJs and fun music.
It's safe, friendly, and plenty of parking. But some people drive to the city for that.
We got one more race tonight for this one. You can all hear us, and the audio is all as it should be. Phil Charleglio is going to lead the field away this time, with Eli Newman starting in second place. Troy Cieslawski will line up in third, with Nunez in fourth position. Scott Black will be fifth. David Baker in sixth. Rai Benak will start seventh. Harrison Tebb will start eighth. And our winner of the fourth race of the evening, Matt Collins, will start in ninth. We got one more time round this Limerock Park circuit. The lights are coming on. Let's do it one more time. We are racing here at Limerock Park. Let's see what kind of start Charleglio gets. It looks to be relatively good, but Gabriel Nunez, he's on a charge as well. Too wide going into turn one for the lead. Charleglio turns it across very well. And unfortunately, Harrison Tebb's run off the road as well. Oh, Nunez running on two wheels for a moment just there. He's kept that car in a straight line. And so far, so good. Everybody is still on the road. Nobody's facing the wrong direction so far. And we are underway for the final race of this evening. We're several cars deep. There's cars challenging for podium positions. Eli Newman goes up into second. Oh, and it's a spin from Eli Newman. He's run off the road. Nunez is in the fence as well, but they're still running in a straight line. I don't know how this is possible. The front wheel drive of these cars coming into great effect here, but so far there's going to be possibly a change for position over second place. Troy Cieslawski is under huge pressure from David Baker down in third. He'll surely make a move this time by. He does. Cieslawski goes defensive. Oh, and there's contact between the leader and second place, but somehow they're still on the road. Cieslawski's challenging for first position. He's dragging alongside Charleglio. Can he get it done? Not on this occasion, but there's probably a 4, possibly 5, maybe even 6 or 7 way battle for the lead.
And Collins around the outside of Baker, moving up, trying to slot in behind Tebb as they go down the back straight before the right-hand bend up the hill. This is usually where all the action is. These tyres get really cold and slippery, but after about 2-3 laps, they should start settling in as the leaders have made their way to the front end of the race at the moment. Now chasing down Charleglio and Cieslawski getting swamped down the main straight. Oh, Cieslawski just getting nudged off out in the side into the grass, and he collects the Jim's mowing. Eli Newman just flashing across the front there. And
got a lead change. Harrison Tebb down the inside of Charleglio to take it away. It's Harrison Tebb, our race winner of the first 2 races of the evening, takes it away, and he's up in a first position. That leads Charleglio vulnerable to our winner of the second 2 races of the evening, as Matt Collins with a bold move round the outside. And now it's our 2 race winners for the evening. They'll be challenging each other. Surely this is the fight that we have been waiting for. Collins versus Teb. I can't wait. Let's see how this one pans out. Matt Collins running a little bit wide. He's still on the road. Meanwhile, Baker's having a look to the inside of Charlego, trying to take away 3rd position, but it's not happened on this occasion. The midfield is most certainly hotting up at the moment. There's plenty of challenges for position going on. They're running line astern at the moment. Baker's trying to break the toe of the cars behind him. Scott Flack's right there as well. He was having a look there, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen on this occasion. Let's see how they all come out through turn 1. Baker and Flack side by side for a moment there, but nothing happened as a result. And this is the state of play. The midfield battle is kicking off, as is the battle for the final spot on the podium. That essentially is our midfield battle. Charleglio doing pretty much everything he can to try and keep these guys behind him. Baker's in a sandwich. He's trying to focus on what's going on in front and also what's going on behind. But remember, multitasking is impossible, so that's very difficult. That's going to be very difficult for David Baker. But he's got a good run on Charleglio coming down through the final set of corners. What's his run going to be like coming on to the start finish straight? Has he got the straight line speed to try and get past Charleglio, or at least stay in his slipstream? Maybe not on this occasion.
Black getting sideways in the background. Baker's squeezing up on a fill as they exit turn 2. Hard braking into the left-hander. Will they squeeze? But looks like Charleglio just closed the gap there. But it cost him going wide, but it doesn't matter. It's pretty much single file. Just do not touch the grass. Keep the rhythm. Baker gets through. Flax is going to get up on the inside as well. I'm losing my voice as well.
Textbook switchback from Baker, sorry, that got him up into 3rd position, and Charleglio is under huge pressure from Scott Flack behind him, and Scott Flack, he knows how to race at the front, and he knows how to get to the front as well. Charleglio's got his work cut out for a while. This is benefiting the leaders somewhat, but there's people trying to break the toe again. This is where the NASCAR race starts. Flack goes inside of Charleglio. Benak was having a look as well. Flack moves up into 4th position, and now it's eyes front to David. Oh, and Nunez off the road, unfortunately, in turn 1. But that is not strictly relevant for the context of the midfield battle at the moment, as that is really between Baker, Flack, Charleglio, and Benak has driven his way into this fight as well. Baker and Flack are pretty much right with each other for the... Oh, and Charleglio! There was 4, and then there was 3. That was a mistake for Phil Charleglio. That's a mistake we've seen a couple of times tonight. David Baker, not the greatest run going through the final corner. He's now under immense pressure from Scott Flack. He's trying to break the toe to the driver behind him, going to the inside for a defensive line. Flack's going to try the outside. It doesn't happen going into turn 1, but can he maybe get a switchback going through these next couple of corners? The line is stern at the moment. Any mistake and Scott Flack will be through, but David Baker doing well to defend in the 1st sector.
Yeah, we saw the front wheel. You can see, as we see Uri Benak just cutting the grass in the background. Through turns 1 and 2, the front inside tyre gets really light, stops not as much rotation as they depend on the car to just turn in, make the apex for turn 2 for that short straight into the fast left-hander. But Flack doing all he can down the main straight. They both get a good run, and it's all a matter of toe. Baker moving to the inside, making sure that Flack doesn't inside, but he's going to squeeze on the inside even more. And will he get the job done into turn 1? No, he doesn't. He has to settle back in to behind Baker, trying to get the exit turn 2, which is what we're talking about. Baker going tight on that corner, and Flack going wider, and again doing that switchback we talked about before. Flack getting a better exit down the back straight side bend. So we go up fast right-hander, sweeping, but a lot of risk in this corner. The cars definitely get air as they come across the top, top and tail across the top there, coming back down the hill to West Bend. Baker covering the inside, but you really want to just commit to the outside to get the run, because now Flack's moving up the inside. I think he's got the job done, and so he does. Baker moving behind Flack and settling into P4, his favourite number for the evening. He's just waiting for Flack.
Flack set that one up perfectly. It was about half a lap in the making from about the top of the from the top of the hill down to the start-finish line. He got a perfect run going up the hill and made it. He somehow managed to keep it in a straight line, but that's brought Benak right back into this one. They're side by side going up the hill. Will either of them yield? I don't think they will. They're still side by side. Can Baker hold the inside line?
Benak's hit the grass, and that's cost him that bend, and Baker's back up in front. But now he's just got to spend the whole time looking in his rear vision mirror, making sure he knows exactly where Benak is in P5. Another battle further back is Nunes and Jaslowski. Nothing in as they come down the fast sweeping right-hander. They got to time that right. I credit to the boys. I haven't seen as many kart rollovers as I was expecting at the beginning of the night. That concrete ripple on the inside really sending the cars over to the fence, to the outside of the circuit. But these two battling it out now for P6, Jaslowski and Newman, and Cileglio again doing great at the start. One mistake and he's relegated to P9. The Teb just stretching out that lead now, 6 seconds. But here comes Flack on the back of Collins. So we've got a few battles here now, 2 laps to go, and we've got about 3 two-car battles, although Baker in the background just starts to stretch away from Benak, but Flack trying everything he can as we sweep into turn 1. 2 abreast, down in the sweep one, on the outside's not going to go. If Collins runs wide, bumps Flack, it's all over for Flack, but they get the job done well.
I think Collins must have made a mistake somewhere, because Flack was really nowhere near him up until pretty much a lap ago, it would seem. But these two are right with each other now. It's red Mercedes versus blue Mercedes. Which one's going to take second place? I'm guessing white Mercedes is going to hold on to first position at least. But they're up the hill at the moment. Collins is on the inside, but Flack takes it away. He's up in a third position. But Matt Collins is all over the back of him. This is going to be the battle that sees us through to the end. Harrison Tebb is about to start his final lap. Scott Flack is leading Matt Collins as they're coming to the line as well. They've got 1 lap to go. Can Scott Flack hold on? Can Matt Collins possibly close it in again? We won't know. And will David Baker, another talking point, will he be able to hold on to 4th position? Will Truslowski be able to hold on to 5th against Gabriel Nunes? Only time will tell. There's too much going on in this final lap, and I guess we're going to have to see how all this plays out. So, right, Benak, he's having to defend big time from David Baker.
We've just taken that position from Baker. Baker clipped the grass and lost that position to Benak, so Benak moving up now. Baker was stretching out, but that little mistake, easy to do, sees him fall back as we see Teb coming around for the last time. Third race win for the evening. Great job from Harrison Teb. I'm sure that's going to seal his round win tonight at Limerock. And we see that's Flack ahead of Collins. And
it's Mercedes 1, 2, 3, 4 actually. So the Mercedes was very, very strong here tonight. Harrison Tebb 1, 3, Matt Collins 1, 2, and that makes 5. So what an incredible race. That was a brilliant drive from Harrison Tebb. That's exactly what he did in the first 2 races of the evening. Just managed to get out front, extend that gap, and that's victory for him. Scott Flack and Matt Collins kept it interesting towards the end. Flack managing to get up into 2nd in the closing stages. Uri Benak pretty much making a late pass for 4th late in the day, manages to get there. David Baker's in 5th, ahead of Troy Chislowski, brings it home in 6th. Gabriel Nunes is in 7th, Cileglio is in 8th. Eli Newman is the last of our finishers in 9th position, and that is race number 5.
Yes, so Teb, I'm sure, taking out the round win between Flack and Collins, with Collins taking out a couple of race wins as well. He'll probably finish the round in P2. Results will be confirmed after the round and before the next race. Speaking of this is the season standings for
The commentators
this.
first already. Stand
Harrison Tebb will stretch that lead out in front. Just Matt Collins is chasing, but he won't do it on this round. He'll have to wait for the next one. David Baker losing a spot after last round. Scott Flack stays steady in P4. Christian Cond is sick at the moment, so he couldn't make it with us tonight. He would have been up in the mix as well, which would have been good. Eli Newman, Matt Pritchard, Troy Lasky, Wayne Walker, and Albert Axcu. Who we missed tonight. Same with Hamish Gebby and Alex Kiddis as well. So we're missing a few drivers tonight, unfortunately. Maybe it's all the afterwash of the school holidays and the Bathurst 1000. So we all hope you enjoyed that. The next round for the British Touring Car Championship will be at Zandvoort Club. Oh, I can't wait for this one. This will definitely be nose to tail racing all the way through, and we're looking forward to that. That'll be on the 2nd November, so make sure you tune in there for round 13 of the British Touring Cars. So going back, and for the V8s, we've just finished our Bathurst race, so the next one will be on the Gold Coast on the 26th of October, so make sure you tune into that one as well. Well, that was, I can hear somebody doing burnout, so I just got to track where that's coming from, and that's the reverse. That's the reverse Dowies we were talking about before, and thank you very much to Harrison Tebb, and congratulations as he'll take us out of the night, leaving his what's left of his front end out on track at Limerock in Connecticut in the USA. So that concludes round 12 of the British Touring Car Championship. Tune in for round 13 at Zandvoort, and keep your eyes peeled to the track guide and to when we're racing next. If you want to get part of the community, definitely join us. There's a Discord link in the description, so make sure you click on that and start racing with us. Get on board and join in these races so we can show you racecraft in glorious form on the Racecentre streams on YouTube. Thanks again, Jack, for your company. Really appreciate your expertise, and we hope to see you on the next one. I'm sure. I think we need to supply you a year's worth of water just to keep you hydrated through these.
I think the limited edition Ned's Bathurst edition Ned whiskey looked quite good in the advertisement, so I might have to get some of that. But yeah, no. Thank you very much for having me along again. Absolutely crazy as usual. Pleasure to commentate on. These guys really do make it interesting. I'm not exactly strapped for things to talk about, so thank you very much again for having me along. I do love watching these races, and I'm sure I will be commentating something for Racecentre very, very soon, and hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be racing. I'll be making my Racecentre race debut at the Bathurst 1000 at the end of the year. But yeah, thank you very much again. Thank you very much for having me along.
Well, thanks again, and yeah, definitely, if you are interested in the Bathurst 1000, November 13th is the date. Get your co-driver, click on the Discord link, get all the information, fill out the entry form, fill it in, send it in to us, and we'll get you on the grid on the 13th of November, so stay tuned for that. Until then, it's good night from me, and it's good night from Jack.